Growing up, there was a lot of violence and trauma in my home due to witnessing my parents fighting in front of me. At a very young age, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. I struggled with mental health and remembered being suicidal. When I was 14, I started drinking and smoking weed. As I got older, my behavior only got worse. By the age of 16, I was out of control. I dropped out of school, was introduced to methamphetamine, and had already been to inpatient treatment. A few years later, I sobered up while I was pregnant with my son, and then a couple years later, I also had my daughter. When my daughter was 2, I started sporadically using drugs as a coping mechanism. My addiction progressively got worse. I left my family and everything that I knew. I started intravenously using meth and was a full-blown drug addict. Years of a vicious, unhealthy cycle. I was tired of not being a mom. I was tired of the manipulation and abuse from my boyfriend. I was tired of being a failure. I wanted to change, and I knew the only way my life was going to change was if I started making different choices. This was a battle because even though I wanted to change, I really didn't know how. I cried out to God many times asking Him to help me. I couldn't figure out why I chose to make the same choices over and over that I hated so much. After many times of hitting rock bottom, having been to 4 treatment centers with one being a year long, I started having hope and believing in myself. My story has been a journey and it hasn't been easy. It's been a process of being restored, my family being restored, and a lot of healing. I'm going to fight the good fight and I'll never stop giving up. My children and family deserve it. I deserve it. There is always hope no matter the situation or circumstance. Jesus is what gives me hope. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future."